Our starting lineups, a look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. Okay, first for the Bulls, D. Rose and Jimmy Butler, the backcourt. And down low, the two-time NCAA champion at Florida, the 6'11 tornado of energy and effort. It's the big man, Joakim Noah. Then it's Dang, and it's Boozer in at the 4 slot. And for the Lakers, Nash and Bryant in the backcourt. And holding down the middle out of Central Michigan University, the skilled and ambidextrous 7-footer, Chris Kaman. Then there's Nick Young, and it's Gasol in at the power forward. Los Angeles on D. Rose goes in. The finger roll finish at the bucket. Rose has got the opening basket of the game for Chicago.
Great move to the hoop, and I love the finger roll finish.
Well, let's start with the positive and the Lakers postseason. They did make it. That's all that can be said is their dramatic passing of Utah and the Rockets down the stretch to take the 7th seed was really the lone highlight of what would be a quick exit from the playoffs for them.
Going back to the Lakers, swept in 4 straight by the Spurs, and none of the games really that close. Spurs, Steve, just dominated them in every sense of the word. Injuries didn't help either.
No, they didn't help, but, you know, the Spurs just outplayed whoever was on the floor for L.A. And I think a lot of people thought that the Spurs would be a good first-round matchup for the Lakers, but that notion was quickly squashed. San Antonio just totally dominant.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Steve Nash. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. Steve Blake's checked in for the Lakers. And Kobe Bryant gets the whistle that time. That's his 1st foul. Rose kicks to Boozer. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. And now just over a minute played here in the 1st.
You know, with Derrick Rose out, a lot of people thought the Bulls would flounder last season, guys, but they were still one of the tougher teams in all of the East, in part because the culture of toughness and next man up has been instilled in that group from its coaching staff, starting with Tom Thibodeau. I don't think this takes away anything from how great Rose is, but I think it certainly speaks to how bought in and committed to the team that every man on that roster is.
Boozer dishes to Noah. And that one's good. 1st quarter, about a minute and a half in. Well, back to the Chicago Bulls team, you got to give a lot of credit to the culture of defense and effort that Coach Tom Thibodeau has created there, Steve.
Well, they weathered Rose's absence remarkably well, advancing in the playoffs, giving Miami all it could handle. And you wonder, with the healthy Rose now and all these other players having developed, is Chicago a championship caliber team? I think they are. I agree.
His ability is matched only by his energy, guys. I mean, he's usually in the middle of everything for his team.
And he banks in the layup. Rose has got his 2nd bucket of the game to go.
Well, I tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
And here's Kobe from the arc. It's hauled in by Luol Deng. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hey, Kevin. Well, Mike D'Antoni had a few minutes for me. He communicated to his players that when taking on Chicago, they have to be as physical as possible to match the intensity the Bulls bring. He said they have no problem banging bodies inside, and we shouldn't be afraid to respond. We can't be intimidated by them, and I want us to go right at them. Sounds like we'll have a physical game on our hands, guys.
Thanks again, Doris. And it's Rose penetrating. Can't hit from in close.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
The Bulls have gone 6 of 8 in the game so far. A very solid start for them. Dang, defended by Young.
2nd foul of the 1st quarter. They're probably going to have to sit him down here to try to avoid number 3. And Kevin, I think what's underrated about Dang is his defensive ability. He's always the guy to guard the opponent's best player, whether it's LeBron James or Kobe Bryant. He has the long arms and the athleticism and the awareness to stay with those guys.
And even though he plays with intensity and reckless abandon defensively, he stays cool and composed. He's all business out there, and I love that demeanor about him.
Chicago leading. Left side, Dan. Back to Rose. Out of bounds, Bulls ball as Chicago keeps possession.
You know, in one of the more compelling postseason stories, the question about when the Bulls would bring Derrick Rose back just continued to hover around the playoffs. Ultimately, just never happened.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Carlos Boozer. LA's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. And count it, 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
What a play. The hoop plus the harm.
Excellent concentration on the finish. That's big time.
Well, back to the Bulls, and even without Rose, I think the team made a big statement, Steve, with how they played in the postseason. They showed that they weren't just a one-man show with Rose running things and have a solid core and system that will always compete.
Well, it's the second straight year that the Bulls have essentially been without Rose in their playoff run due to injury. And so I think Chicago fans are kind of wondering what exactly the roof is for this team, the ceiling, if you will. Let's hope that Rose stays healthy this year, so we'll find out.
Gasol and the foul on Derrick Rose. That'll be his second foul of the game. The drive by Hill. Johnson from outside. And it's blocked by Dang. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
You know, Mike Dunleavy, the former number 3 overall pick back in 2002, you know, he hasn't been a star, but boy, has he been steady and productive in a very long and solid NBA career.
That one misses, so he goes 1 for 2. And Dunleavy, very skilled at 6'9".
Yeah, he put up some pretty good numbers in Indiana for a while. He can pass, shoot, handle the ball. Son of a coach, of course, Mike Dunleavy Sr. You can see where Dunleavy Jr. gets his understanding of the game.
Boy, what a throwdown after doing a great job to corral the rebound.
Well, you know, there aren't that many players with a better nose for the ball than him.
Agreed.
And with the D always scattered after an offensive rebound, he knows exactly how to get that to work for him.
And the foul called on Pau Gasol. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line.
Well, you look at the Lakers' struggles last season, I think it surprised most of us. You know, some of it was injuries. Part of it was just a lack of production off the bench. Then there was the inconsistency of the coaching and just the number of different people who were on that bench. So, difficult season for the Lakers.
Bulls have gone 8 of 10 shooting, coming out very strong. And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession. Outside Dan. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
A lot of noise coming from these fans. Pretty unhappy with that call.
Well, you know, we've got a lot of amateur officials in the crowd, and not one of them liked it.
And you look at the struggles of the Lakers bench last season when injury struck. They didn't have the players really to fill that void.
Yep. You know, Kevin, I think for the Lakers, the bold strokes for the star players have been impressive, but it's the fine details of finding undervalued role players. That's where they've been lacking. Once injuries happen, that was thrown into sharp relief. And really, even when healthy, to win a title, you can't just have a great starting 5. We know that. You need another 4 or 5 players you can count on to give you quality minutes.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago. And the Bulls making a change here. We've got 1:08 left to play in the first. Johnson with the block.
In terms of rebounding, it's been a sensational opening quarter.
I like sensational. That's a good word for it.
They get a hand on it. Young with the steal. And it's the Lakers on the break. Here's Meeks. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
Boy, the kind of moments you love to see. Excellent defense leading to a dunk at the other end.
Clark, you got to marvel at the transition game when they've got it clicking. It's really explosive.
High octane for sure.
Oof. Yeah, turning defensive pressure into offensive opportunities. That's what it's all about.
Well, the Bulls battling last year's postseason got a Game 7 win in Brooklyn to sneak out of round 1 in what was one of the more interesting series of the first round, but then fell to the Heat in round 2.
I have no idea why he was fouling there.
And even the foul, I mean, you can't be wrapping guys up like that. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. That's a meaningless play.
And for the Bulls, no Rose the whole time, and they had questions constantly being asked if he would return, but the team came together, Steve, and showed the Bulls aren't just a one-man show.
You know, they missed him, though, Kevin, and desperately. I thought they performed admirably, but they really needed him against the Heat. They were able to steal Game 1 in that Eastern Conference semifinal matchup, but without him, the Bulls just didn't have enough firepower to beat Miami.
Chicago calls timeout.
You know, last season, a lot of folks had the Lakers picked as the super team in the West, the team that would maybe challenge Miami and LeBron, but from the start, it just never was a cohesive group and really had one of the most disappointing seasons in the Lakers' history.
And the Bulls making a change here. There's 39 seconds left in the first. Rose with the ball. Guarded now by Nash. Offensive rebound. And there's Derrick Rose on the assist by Noah. And that's now 9 points for Derrick Rose. Nash against Rose. The dish to Blake. Fires from deep. Rose with the rebound.
And already we've got a very lopsided edge on the boards for them.
Yep, +5 in rebounds. That didn't take long.
The Bulls will retain possession. And here is Butler. Blake with the steal. Great pass to set up the lay-in. Blake's got 8 points.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, it sure has, Clark. You know, with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they really haven't had to do much on the perimeter.
Well, it's been a high-scoring competitive game through the first quarter of play. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And what's your take, guys, on the hustle sticks for the Lakers?
Boy, their frenetic defense has really been impressive, putting a lot of pressure on ball handlers and turning them over.
You know, adding on to that, they've done a great job of challenging and changing shots in this first half, and they've gotten some blocks as well.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, gentlemen, the Lakers barely squeezed into the playoffs last season. Despite that, they had the largest luxury tax bill in the league, almost $30 million, more than double the next highest team in the Miami Heat. So, maybe one silver lining for them with Dwight Howard deciding to move to Houston? The team won't have to shoulder the even more punitive taxes that began this season. Kevin?
Good point, Doris. Thanks.
Guys, how about the Bulls being able to nab the 5th seed in the East last season, in large part due to how they were able to play on the road? Of course, when you play tough, solid defense like they do, it makes it easier to be competitive and string together road wins.
And the Bulls making a change here. Gibson's checked in. Gets it to go. 6 points for Joakim Noah.
Purely from a size standpoint, that is a mismatch that's going to be hard to overcome defensively.
There it is, guys. That Olay defense. Just watching him go, Clark, right by.
I think we might be seeing which team is ready to take control of this game.
Yeah, that's a dunk that could absolutely get them going. I agree, Clark.
And for the Bulls, defense is one of the few things in the NBA that can neutralize a home court advantage. And Steve, a big part of why they had the success they had on the road.
Yeah, they went 21-20 away from the United Center, and one of only 5 teams in the entire East who managed to stay above 500 away from home. That's a real tribute to this team and the coaching staff.
Chicago making some changes. Carlos Boozer's checked in for Noah, and Derrick Rose is subbed in for Luol Deng.
You know, they really aren't putting up any resistance on the low block. That's the 5th consecutive basket inside.
And, Steve, these looks they're allowing are almost automatic.
That's good. We're closing in on 2 minutes played here in the second quarter.
Well, you know, Carlos Boozer wasn't as efficient last season as we've seen in the past, and I think in large part it was due to the extended absence of Derrick Rose. He was the bailout option for the team on many occasions.
Young for three. That's good. Young's got 5 now.
And that kind of defense is just not going to cut it, guys. They have to get a hand in his face.
Here's Blake. An easy 2 points on the way. And it's a 7-point Los Angeles lead. And Clark, for Boozer, you talked about his offensive efficiency. Strong physical player, but he only averaged about, Steve, I think like 3 free throws a game last season.
Well, he's a fadeaway jump shooter. He's an excellent offensive player. Pretty efficient in his scoring. But most of his post-ups end up in fadeaway jump shots, and that's why he doesn't get to the line very often.
Heinrich passes to Butler. Back to Heinrich. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Nick Young. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Luol Deng is checked in for Jimmy Butler. Gasol with the steal. And Young kicks to Johnson. It's stolen by Deng. And now the fast break. Gibson with the ball. Blake with the steal. Johnson outside. Leads him in there. And it's Hill with the jam.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yes, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
Lakers still pursuing another title, but it would be a real shock if that were to come this year. A lot of age and injury on this team. They lose Dwight Howard. This is a club that just doesn't have enough athleticism and speed to contend for a title.
Chicago making some changes. Noah comes in for Taj Gibson. And it's Jimmy Butler coming in for Kirk Heinrich. Bulls trail by 11. Back to Deng. Looking to end the run. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Well, back to the Lakers. Clark, you think they're too old? Is this a team that needs to rebuild?
Not yet, Kevin. The saying is, young doesn't win in the NBA. I think for them, health and chemistry are the most important factors. Also, I think this is a franchise that has shown it can make a home run deal, like acquiring Pau Gasol in 2007. Got 2 titles out of that move. I think they'll look to add some youth through their bench and restructure the personnel a bit, and they'll position themselves for another run, perhaps.
Blocked. Another shot, and Boozer lays it in. Los Angeles leading by 8. Kobe dishes to Blake. From downtown. Offensive rebound.
Boy, I'm shocked he didn't make that one. He usually knocks that one down with ease.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Gentlemen, in a lot of ways, Joakim Noah is the heart of this Bulls team. Coach Tom Thibodeau said, quote, he's an all-star, and I can see him winning Defensive Player of the Year. But the most important thing is he plays to win. He can have 5 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks, and he's happy because we won. Guys, Derrick Rose said it best. He's a warrior, and everybody is following him.
Thanks, Doris. He's such a character, so passionate about his defensive role. And it's Boozer penetrating, and he uses the glass on the layup. Boozer's got 6. Los Angeles has gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. And it's blocked by Deng. Butler kicks it to Noah. And that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending call right there.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
And that call gets an instant reaction from the fans.
Well, that's a whistle that did not go over very well.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles. And the Bulls making a change here. Here's Nash. Back to Gasol. And he goes strong with the one-handed jam. Well, Clark, a clear lane to the basket and the emphatic jam.
And that is outstanding attacking basketball.
Well, he had no choice but to take that one to the bucket.
You know, even though he's getting up there in years, guys, Powell's effectiveness shouldn't really drop off much. He's a long, skilled player who doesn't play off the ground very much, and his versatility should help his longevity.
There's Rose with the three.
This has not at all been the kind of performance they've needed out of him.
And now here's Johnson, the fast break chance. Good, and the assist goes to Nash. Nash has got 3 assists now in this one. Clark, you mentioned the versatility of Pau Gasol. Steve, it's really the defining quality of his game, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the ability to do so many things offensively as a big guy just really completes a team. Now you can run any kind of offense you want. And Pau, as a passer, as a scorer, as a shooter, has been one of the best in the game for the last decade.
Boy, I tell you, the Bulls showed how resilient they could be without Derrick Rose last season. They played competitive basketball, but up against the Western Conference, they just didn't quite have the same punch. Got beat up pretty good out west. He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
Bulls trail by 8. On its way from Gibson for 2. Shot is off. Great D that time from Meeks. And back to the Bulls against the West. Not sure what exactly their shortcomings were, but in the end, Steve, they were only able to win 11 games out of the 30 they played out of conference.
You know, the Bulls were a team that could win games on grit and toughness, but the West was a lot more talented last year than the East. And so some nights Chicago just kind of ran into reality, and they didn't have enough talent to deal with some of those Western teams.
You know, guys, when Noah came out of Florida, most people viewed him as just an energy guy or a role player, but I tell you what, I always saw him as a highly skilled player. He could pass it, he could put it on the floor, was smart defensively. He's shown that he can anchor a defense, and he contributes double-doubles on a nightly basis.
It's stolen by Dang. One-on-one fast break. Rose passes to Gibson. Gonna foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. It's going to be on Kobe Bryant. You know, for Noah Clark, as you were talking, not just an energy guy, but Steve, he's a good ball handler. And he's a really good passer, for one thing. You know, atop the circle, he's got a great view of the floor, and he really can find the guy.
Yeah, well, it's so important these days to be able to make plays off of screen and rolls for a big guy to be able to catch at the foul line off that drop pass and then either score or find another shooter on the perimeter. Noah is good as anybody at that.
Tacks a few more points onto their lead with the tomahawk.
Ah, that's bringing it down hard. Clark bringing it down hard. And the rebound goes to Pau Gasol. Gasol's got his 6th rebound on the night.
Already he's looking at his 3rd foul. I think the coach will probably look to sit him down until the 3rd quarter.
For Los Angeles, they have been good at the free throw line. This one, 7 of 8. No good on the free throw. And the Bulls making a change here. He's off on the 2nd.
Not a typical trip to the line for him there. He had been knocking him down today.
Young with the steal. It's tipped. Heinrich with the steal. Here's Gibson. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be a goaltending call. Yep, that's it. So they'll get the basket.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
That whistle got a big response from this crowd, and it is not a favorable one, let's say.
I'll tell you what, the fans can't believe.
Here we go now, the start of the 3rd quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far.
Excellent night for Joakim Noah. He has 11 points, and he's also got 1 block to add to the mix today.
Yeah, it's just a small part of what's been a solid overall contribution by him defensively. That is a terrific effort on the shot. He's giving up a lot of size, but still finds a way to score.
I don't think that affected him in the least, though, Steve. I mean, he made it look like he was the bigger guy.
The shot, no good. And the Lakers will go the other way with it. Here's Kaman. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down. Clark, I'm guessing that wasn't the plan for the D on that trip.
And I'm agreeing with you there. Once they opened the lane up for him, that was a little emphasis on that finish.
Take what the defense gives you and then just power it home, right? Why not?
Not loose. And out of bounds as Los Angeles gains possession. Here's Nash. Johnson attacking. Good, and the assist goes to Nash. And it's 8 points for Johnson.
They've got to continue to put pressure on the defense by probing inside. That's what's really working for them.
And when you're doing the job they are inside, it takes pressure off the perimeter guys.
And again, Chicago, no good.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady work they've been doing on the interior, no question. And that's, I think, the main reason they have this lead.
Really not hard to see why they're giving up points on this run. I mean, they've just given them too many looks inside.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting pounded in there. The defense not offering much resistance. They've got to force the ball back out to the perimeter.
Chicago calls timeout.
Came and gave up his old caveman look, guys, but he's still an intimidating presence in the post. Good size and strength and doesn't really get pushed around. Also excellent timing when it comes to shot blocking.
Ozzie Muhammad's checked in for Chicago. Gibson comes in for Carlos Boozer. Bulls trail by 15. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something, you're right. And Chris came in skilled offensively. Ambidextrous, finishing inside, and a good mid-range shooter.
Yeah, I think he's really good offensively. He's got a lot of skill. He's tough to handle. And the question mark with him is defensively. You know, his weak side rotations can be late. He's never really been, you know, a center that you kind of solidify your defense around.
The open shot, Butler.
That's 5 shots without a conversion. A very tough start coming out of the half. That's flat out embarrassing.
And the officials signal the backcourt violation. Not very careful there. Nash against Rose. And it comes off the front of the rim.
What was the defense doing there? I mean, he is not the guy to give an open look to, and yet they got away with it.
Bulls trail by 15. They need this. Johnson with the defensive effort.
Such a solid performance for them inside. Their rebounding has been terrific.
Yeah, that's just one of the few things that have gone their way today.
But they get it back.
Multiple possessions have been the story of the game, and even with the big lead, this team continues to be quicker to the ball.
Butler dishes to Gibson. Knocks it loose. And stolen by Nash. And Gibson sends it back. But they'll get another chance. And finished off by Kamen.
Crashes the offensive glass and gets a slam dunk for his effort. I like the work.
You know, Clark, pretty easy for him once he got a handle on the ball.
Yes, sir.
You know, you're never going to get a more quality chance than off an offensive rebound.
The Bulls' offense staggered at times, guys, and one reason that was the case last season is they didn't have a big three-point threat. Second lowest in the league last season in three-pointers attempted. They really were a team that tried to score the ball inside.
Clock keeps going. 3 minutes into the second half now. And out of bounds as the Bulls gain possession. Chicago making some changes. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Muhammad. Boozer comes in for Taj Gibson. And it's Dunleavy in for Luol Deng. And Clark, you mentioned the Bulls last season without Derrick Rose, not the flashiest offense, and Steve, that hurt him.
You know, having said that, I mean, that is a team that played relatively slow even with Derrick Rose. But last year, particularly slow, 27th in the league in fast break points. Look, this is a team that hangs its hat on defense and rebounding, and the fans love them for it. But to make that next step, they're going to have to improve their offense considerably.
And here's Hill for 3. Chicago grabs the miss. From beyond the arc. And again, no good by Chicago. Deflected. And it's the Lakers' ball. They're on an 11-3 run. Lake for 3. Offensive rebound. Here's Gasol. Hill inside. Covered by Noah. And the call will be against Joakim Noah. That's his first foul. Bulls making a switch here. We've gone about 3.5 minutes into the third now. T2 from Hill. And the shot falls short this time.
He just has not been able to get into that groove yet, guys. But as a whole, it hasn't affected them too much.
Boozer kicks to Dunleavy. Buries it from 3-point range. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back.
You know, one thing you know is that the son of a coach is usually going to have good shooting mechanics, and that's definitely the case with Mike Dunleavy Jr. He always seems cool and composed when he's getting ready to fire away. He's got a great release.
It's just one of the benefits of growing up in an NBA family. Shooting form comes very easy to him, and he makes the most of it. And the basket by Kobe.
Well, Kobe's never been shy about shooting. You know, a lot of people would argue that he gets maybe a little too shot happy sometimes, but you want a guy who's dominant. You want a guy who's not afraid, who's going to fail and just come right back and fire away the next time.
Luol Deng is checked in for Chicago. Chicago calls timeout. And when you talk about Kobe's role offensively for the Lakers, it's worth mentioning last season was one of his most efficient scoring the basketball.
It really was, and you consider the turmoil that surrounded the Lakers all season. It was remarkable that Kobe was as even-keeled as he was, stayed focused, and start to finish, he delivered the type of all-star performance that he always does. Very impressive.
Some changes for Chicago. Taj Gibson's checked in for Dunleavy, and Derrick Rose is subbed in for Jimmy Butler. And Heinrich gets it to go.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
And Kirk Heinrich picks up the foul. That's his third foul of the game. We've got 1:23 left here in the third quarter.
They got off to a nice start, a good start in the first half. But they've fallen off a bit here in the second half, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe they just need to pick up the intensity a bit.
Farmar with the bucket. And look at how the hustle game has been going for the Lakers.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ball game.
And the other thing they're doing is they're forcing turnovers and then converting those miscues into points at the other end. Boy, that pass was in the air a long time.
Long enough for him to get a finger on it anyway and send it out of bounds.
And here's Rose outside. Gets it to go. Rose has got 12 in the game.
He can be dangerous from outside. Sure, he didn't get one to go in the first, but we know he can get on a roll and knock him down.
Young for three. That one goes. He's got 8.
A wide open three. They need much better communication defensively.
There's Rose with the 3. Oh, trying for it. Out of bounds, the Lakers will take possession. Got a piece of it. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Well, a careless foul. It'll go to the line for 3 free throws. And there's the foul against the Lakers. That's on Nick Young. That's good from Gibson. That one is no good. And he nails the third. Los Angeles leading by 11. Kept alive. Second chance shot. That one wide left.
He's got a nice touch on that shot normally, but good defense there clogging the lane.
Here's Deng. And again, no good by Chicago. Here's Young. He's got 8. Hill, no good. Gibson for 3. Missed. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Happens here in the fourth. Bulls trail by 11. And Kobe Bryant gets the whistle that time. That's it for him. He's fouled out of the game.
Well, their worst fear came true. This is still anyone's ball game, but losing him to foul trouble will make it a lot tougher.
And the Lakers making a change here. Young's checked in. Butler attacking, and it's blocked by Kaman. Scooped up. Here's Noah. And the officials call goaltending, so they'll award the basket.
They have a little extra mojo going here, a little extra pep in their step, more hustle in this second half. They're doing a much better job in terms of second chance points.
Derrick Rose is checked in for the Bulls. A nice shot by Nash. The Bulls have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. And stolen by Nash. Pulls it up. Gasol passes to Hill. Tries again. He lays it in. And the Lakers lead by 14.
Well, this team has really been on the offensive glass here in the second half, doing an outstanding job. And that's one of the reasons they're on top.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
You know, one of the things that's really hard to do in the NBA, it's actually one of the hardest things to do in the NBA, is to stay in front of Derrick Rose. I mean, it's not just his burst of speed or his quick first step, but he's got one of the meanest, nastiest, filthiest crossovers in the entire league. And then you add his strength and explosiveness in the air to that, that's lethal.
Carlos Boozer's checked in for Luol Deng. On its way from Rose for two. And out of bounds as the Lakers gain possession. The Lakers making a switch here. Kaman's checked in. A few possessions into the fourth quarter, just over a minute played. Near the three-point line, it's Nash. Chicago grabs the miss. Noah's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. And for Rose, as he returns from his knee injury, you wonder how that'll affect his ability to blow by defenders, which was such a great quality he possessed prior to the injury. Shooting from the outside is solid, but he hasn't been elite to this point in his career with that shot. So there's a lot of unknowns still about his game, and being so young, you expect that.
It's going to be an adjustment, Kevin. I mean, you have to find your confidence after an injury like that. I think he is going to be a better shooter, because if there was one thing he could work on while he was out, it's that outside jump shot. But we got to give him some time to just get his confidence and find his game again.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding. They are piling up the assists.
And the foul on Derrick Rose. That's his 4th foul of the contest.
Well, he tried to step in and cut him off, but just not quick enough.
And we have the benefit of replay, but I think they got that one right, which is the case most times, even though fans don't think so.
And the Bulls making a change here. Deng's checked in, tipped away. Noah kicks to Butler. No one near him. Steve Nash with the rebound. Nash has got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Here's Farmar, and it's blocked by Rose. Fast break. Here comes Chicago. A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. From deep three-point range. Here's Gasol. And it's off the back rim. No good. Bulls trail by 14. He kicks it to Noah. Outside Deng. Let's go. And again, no good by Chicago.
You know, he's so confident, sometimes to a fault. And that showed right there. That's a bad shot.
Exactly. I mean, that's self-inflicted damage right there. There are a lot better options than what he took. Not much the defense can do once he gets to the bucket.
Chicago calls timeout.
You know, he just isn't pleased at all with the looks they've given up defensively inside. So I think this timeout is all about trying to get his group to tighten up defensively.
They just don't look very sharp to me on the defensive side.
So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. And Chicago shooting just 30% from the field here in the fourth. Heinrich with it. Now defended by Meeks. And Jody Meeks gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Butler, smooth as silk on the finger roll.
That's really the area where they'd like all of their shots to come from.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it.
Making a long pass like that is always a risky proposition. Get outside, get outside.
Boozer inside. Defended by Sacre. Good. Lakers leading by 12. Here's Farmar. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup.
You know, there's no fear out of him, guys. I mean, going straight to the hoop against a much bigger defender, he's got a lot of heart.
Butler attacking. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Free throw, good Butler. That misses, so he splits the free throws.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the board.
Well, the main thing is they haven't allowed many second chance opportunities. And that is always going to allow you to maintain your lead.
The drive by Boozer. No good. Nice D from Sacco. LA's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Blake dishes to Johnson. Yes, and it's Blake picking up the assist. And 12 points for Johnson.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Well, they're passing to Heinrich. The kick outside to Butler. Off target with his three.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
And Wesley Johnson with the slam.
Well, that puts the nail in the coffin.
A clinic in terms of how to play with the lead right there.
First free throw is good. And he can't hit the second.
Yeah, a disappointing trip to the line, even though it was just one miss. Now is not the time to be missing free throws.
It's going to be out of bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession. The Bulls making a switch here. Muhammad's checked in. 1:07 left in the fourth quarter. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Nazr Muhammad. That's his first foul. The Lakers with the ball. And the basket by Johnson. Bulls trail by 19. Here's Teague. But they recover it.
There's another opportunity, and everything's going right for these guys.
You know, that putback's about as easy as it's going to get. You have to put a body on someone down there.
Well, no box out. That's the result you get right there.
He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. And he's on his way to the free throw line.
Terrific play right there. Great strength to finish through the hit.
That's how you do it, the bump and the bucket.
Johnson kicks to Blake. And the Lakers get it back.
Nice job on the offensive glass.
That one is off.
2 shots.
And he sinks the second. Chicago's gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. Teague for three. Rebounded by Farmar. Los Angeles has gone 2-3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. And out of bounds as the Bulls gain possession.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
Heinrich from outside. That drops. And Los Angeles guys shooting about 47% here in the fourth. Mike Dunleavy is going to pick up the foul. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. And he's good on the second. Chicago's gone into a funk from downtown in the fourth. Only one of their 5 3-pointers has found the bottom of the bucket. And the basket by Muhammad.
That's some tenacity inside, battling for the second chance points.
Kicks it to Farmar. Takes the three. Off the mark. And so it's the Lakers taking care of business here. Not much to be critical of at this ring fight.
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play. They showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan Player of the Game.